Sit. Hey, stop. Sit. Sit for the camera. Such a pretty girl. Alright, come back into the garage. Good job. Let's work on the car. Because today, as of now, we're bleeding the brakes. Finally. Get back inside. We've got the passenger rear corner all hooked up. Now, all we're going to do is take off the cap of the reservoir, and we're going to plug in the power bleeding kit that I got, which is kind of ass. So I've had to tape it up a little bit because air was escaping. I don't think this is going to be as good as like a Motive power bleeder. I think I'm gonna have to pump it constantly to keep pressure in it. I think it's gonna leak no matter what. And I don't think that has to do with my brake system. Hopefully, we'll see once fluid goes in if there's a leak anywhere. But yeah, I will set you guys up and we'll get moving on this back tire, and I'll time lapse and skip through because it'll be the same process for all of it. Just going to pump the power bleeder up to about between 12 and 15 psi, and then just open the bleeder valve back here, and then we'll cycle it through. Once we see no more air bubbles and new fluid coming to the back, then we'll stop this rear and we'll move on to the other side. Then we'll go passenger front and end with driver side front. I'm not sure how detailed these videos were. We were moving pretty quick. The videos were getting cut and the quality just wasn't good, so I'm just gonna go through another overview of what we did with the new pads and rotors. Slotted and drilled from Dynamic Friction, front and rear. It's pretty simple to take off the rear. It's just these two bolts, or two screws, and that'll slide the hat off. The caliper, there's two bolts in the back that come off, and then this will just slide off. Then you have here in the back, there'll be a clip here that holds these pins in, 1 and 2, those pins, as well as the brake pad sensor holds that in place, and the pins hold in a vibration plate. So just all you're going to do is take off the clip, then you pull the pins, the vibration plate will pop right out, and then you can slide the pads out or just jimmy the entire caliper off. And it's the same process for the front and rear. The front, though, is a little bit more complicated. The front hub needs to come off in order to take the rotor off. You just pop this off, and there's a clamp nut in there holding the rotor on, or holding the hub on to the spindle. So you use an Allen key or Allen wrench to take that off, and then there are 5 bolts on the inside that connect rotor to hub. Undo those and that'll slide right off. Same process for the caliper in the back with the pins, the clip, vibration plate, and the 2 bolts in the back of it that hold it on. So yeah, we'll move on. I'll set you guys up. We'll start with the passenger rear and then work our way to the finish with the driver side front. So all I'm doing right now is I'm pumping it up to about 15 psi. I'm going to see basically how quickly the pressure is dropping. In a good bleeder like a Motive, this should not be dropping at all. If it is, it means that you most likely have a leak somewhere in your brake lines. I'm hoping that I have a shitty power bleeder, because I noticed before that it was leaking air audibly out of the adapter here. And so I taped it up and sealed it, but it's still dropping air slower, much slower now, but it's still dropping. Just after all that, it went from about 15 to 12. In that time of talking, it should have stayed at 15 the entire time. So I am a little bit nervous that I might have a leak somewhere, but I'm also more thinking that it's the crappy Amazon bleeder rather than my system. So I'm gonna try and bleed it. If there's a leak, I'll probably stop and address it then, but for now I'm just gonna send it, and I'm gonna hope that it goes how I want. All right, starting to bleed. Here I go. Other side now. Full. All right, final check-in. It got pretty late because I had to run to the store to end up getting some more brake fluid and some other stuff. The bleed is done. Just got under the car and did the clutch bleed, which that was a longer process because we had some stuff go wrong. Somehow the reservoir, this stopped pushing in fluid and the reservoir got some air in it, so we ended up having to restart the clutch bleed with some more fluid. But everything else is complete. It's getting pretty dark, so you can't really see too well. But I will update either tomorrow or later tonight. I'm going to clean it all up, get the reservoir put back together, wires on, and then tires back on, put it on the ground, and we'll start it up for the first time basically since we bought it. Tires are going back on, car's going back down, seats are going back in, and then we're taking it for a test drive. All right, the car's back in the air. That is because while editing this video, the end of the seat install and the startup and the first test drive since we had bought it, all that footage got corrupted. So this is the makeup video for that. It's not really gonna be much to it, just gonna try and wrap up. We got both of the seats back in. We started it up, test drove it. The brakes felt amazing. It drove super nice. But in the process, realized that I was leaking or losing brake fluid. And that was because the clutch master cylinder, an internal component broke or something went wrong and it was leaking into the boot. So I just did a full replacement, and we're doing the clutch master, the clutch slave, and the clutch fluid line that goes to the slave, the soft to hard line. And I have not got a chance to video any of that. This one's been kind of time sensitive, so I might make an update video showing you guys all the stuff that we did. You guys won't even be able to see this all installed again. It's definitely a task. That master cylinder is brand new. The slave has not been installed yet. I'm waiting for the new soft to hard line. I ordered the wrong one. But I might update you guys on that. I'm not sure. Depends if I'm able to film it or not. But yeah, that's basically it. The check-in, it drove amazing. Brakes felt amazing. Seats went back in, the carpet smells and looks way better. Yeah, I'm not sure what the next project's gonna be. Hopefully a little bit of drive time and learning the car. But yeah, stay tuned for a little bit more. Harley. Shop dog, shop dog, shop dog, shop dog, shop dog, shop dog, shop dog. All right. Thanks for watching.